There are around 200 countries on Earth. The exact number will change depending on who you ask. But of course, the practical reality is that countries are countries because other countries recognize they are countries. So, where do those countries that recognize the other countries get their legitimacy from? What makes a country like Czechoslovakia a country? Now, of course, nationalism. Nationalism is one idea of countries. The idea is that a country is that a people belong to a country, and that pretty much the Germans are in a country that's a nation. So, but of course, there in the past it might be God. So like the king, he's like got legitimacy because of divine right of kings. So therefore his legitimacy comes from God, and therefore his country is legitimate. And of course, nationalism is counter to that because it believes legitimacy comes from the people. Now, of course, with the end of ethno-nationalism, countries are now based off democracy, not peoples. So, like, the Italians have their country, but if a whole bunch of immigrants come in, then Italians wouldn't even be the majority in their own country, of course. We see this in rich countries. Singapore, for example. Singapore, they're Malayan, they're in Malaysia, but I think Malays are really a minority. So, where does Singapore get its legitimacy from? So, pretty much what I believe is that countries are post-national. So first it was quite a long time ago, it was divine right of kings. For example, the empires and stuff. The British Empire, they had territories all over the world, and they could have Africans in one part of the empire, Indians in another. That wasn't a problem, but nationalism comes along and it's like Africans, like this same group of Africans should have their own country. Indians should have a country of Indians, not be ruled by the British. So that comes along. So yeah, this is let me think for a while. Yeah, but of course nationalism is no longer a thing and stuff. So you can't just say we're a country because we're an ethnic and blah blah blah. So country can't, for example, England can't say England is a country of English people. Because of course there's like people from all over the world coming, because the immigration policy is to let in as much people as they want to grow the population and thus the economy. But of course per person the economy is actually getting worse. So that's a bit problematic, but hey, London controls the whole thing. The bankers in London are happy. So yeah, so pretty much I'd say that countries, pretty much the point of this video is that countries are in a phase of post-nationalism. They no longer get their legitimacy from nationalism, so there's a new era of countries, and that is all.